All right, let's talk about something that's quietly draining profits from so many businesses out there. It's this silent killer. And no, it's not a lack of customers. It's something else entirely. It's about the customers who show up, seem super interested, and then poof, they're gone. So I've got a question for you, and I want you to really think about it. Is there a silent ghost haunting your company's growth? You might think no way, but the surprising and kind of scary answer is almost certainly yes. And trust me, it's costing you way more than you think. All right, let's get right into it. The ghost in your business. Just picture this for a second. You're shelling out good money on marketing, right? Your ads are hitting the mark, people are actually reaching out, things are looking good. But then nothing, just radio silence. A massive chunk of those potential customers, they just vanish. And here's the kicker. It's not because they weren't interested. Nope. These are what we call high-intent prospects. They were ready to buy. The real problem, the thing that's stripping everyone up, is a failure of speed. It's that simple. In the world we live in now, the business that answers the phone first wins. Period. Okay, so it's time to formally introduce our little antagonist here. Let's put a name to this problem so we know exactly what we're fighting against. What is a ghost lead? So a ghost lead, it's a potential customer who is super eager to buy. They've done their research, they're ready to go, they reach out to you, maybe they call, maybe they fill out a form on your site, whatever it is, but then they just disappear before you even get a chance to have a real conversation. They're literally ghosts in your sales machine. And this is why it's so incredibly critical. The data on this is just staggering. Get this, 78% of customers, that's almost 8 out of 10, buy from the very first business that gets back to them. Think about that. If you're not first, you're not just second, you're probably last. So, okay, how fast is first? What's the magic number? It's 90 seconds, just a minute and a half. If a lead isn't engaged within that tiny window, they are 4 times more likely to ghost you and go straight to your competitor. I mean, 4 times. That's huge. You know, this actually explains a really modern problem perfectly. It's called the commuter effect. Just think about it for a sec. Someone's in their car, maybe on the bus, and they're searching for a service like yours. If you don't get back to them right then, by the time they get to their destination, their office, their home, their mind is on something else. That little window of intent, it's slammed shut, gone. Okay, now for the part that, well, it's gonna hurt a little. Let's talk about the money. The actual financial damage. What is the true cost of all this silence? Just take a look at these numbers. This is basically a hidden tax on your business that you didn't even know you were paying. I mean, your average cost for a single lead can be anywhere from 50 to almost $300. And with a typical ghost rate of 60 to 70%, which is totally normal, businesses are watching anywhere from $45,000 to over $120,000 just leak out of their revenue every year. That's pure profit, just gone. I know, those big numbers can feel a little abstract. So let's make it super real. Let's look at a case study. We're going to follow a local HVAC company and see exactly how this ghost problem plays out for a real business month in and month out. So here is our company. And hey, they're doing pretty well. They're generating about 40 new leads every single month from their marketing. On the surface, that sounds awesome, right? But, and there's always a but, here's the catch. They've got a 60% ghost rate. And that's not bad. That's actually really typical for their industry. But what it means is that the majority of people who raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested, well, they never even get to have a conversation. So let's do the math. A 60% rate on 40 leads means 24 of those potential customers, potential jobs, are just gone, vanished into thin air. Think about that. More than half of their entire marketing budget is basically being thrown away before it even has a chance to pay off. And here is the number that just makes your jaw drop. If an average job for them is worth about $2,500, those 24 vanished leads add up to $60,000 in lost revenue. And I gotta stress this, that's not for the whole year. That is every single month. Okay, so now we get the damage. It's a lot. But how is this even happening? Let's pull back the curtain and unmask the real culprits. Let's figure out why these leads are going ghost. Turns out, these ghosts have 3 main ways of getting in. First, and this is the big one, is response delay. You're just not fast enough. Second, you're not using text messages, which is how, let's be honest, almost everyone wants to communicate these days. And third, you've got no plan for the leads that come in after 5 o'clock when you've all gone home.
Now, what's really wild when you look at the data is just how dominant that first reason is. A massive 93% of ghosting happens because of response delay, but don't sleep on the other two. A whopping 89% of people prefer to text with a business, and almost half of all your leads are probably coming in after hours. These aren't little oopsies, they're gigantic holes in your sales process.
And this quote, this is basically the voice of every single one of those ghosted leads. It says it all. It wasn't about your price. It wasn't about your quality. It was just about speed. I simply found someone else who answered faster. I mean, that's it. That's the whole ballgame right there.
Okay, deep breath. We've defined the ghost, we've tallied up the insane cost, and we've pointed fingers at the causes. Now for the most important part of all of this, the battle plan. Let's talk about your ghost recovery plan. Let's talk about how you fight back. So, the ghost busting plan is a three-pronged attack. First up, instant lead capture. We're talking about using automation to respond in seconds, not hours. You've got to hit that 90-second window. Second is database reactivation. Think about all those old, cold leads just sitting in your CRM. Well, tech can now wake them up automatically and find hidden gems you thought were long gone. And third, multi-channel nurture. This is all about talking to people where they are. Text, email, social media, all at the same time, creating a conversation that's impossible to ignore.
And this right here is the big mindset shift. So many people just think, oh, I'll just throw more money at marketing to get new leads. That's the mistake. The real solution is to install a system that plugs the leak. That way, you can finally claim the profits from the money you've already spent. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Your business has already done the hard part. You spent the money to get the lead, to make the phone ring. The only question left is, why on earth would you let a ghost be the one to walk away with all the profit?